From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Monday, November 8th, 2021. So we take a look at temperatures here on Monday morning. Cooler as you head northwest, warmer as you head off to the east. We're above freezing across central and southern Manitoba, sub-freezing across generally the rest of the prairie here. Southern Alberta, you can find some couple degrees above freezing temperatures here as we head through the early morning hours. We look at the satellite picture here, you can see the flow of the atmosphere, a big trough off to the west. We're going to start to see disturbances kind of pivoting around the base of that trough and then swinging through the prairie as we head through the next 10 days, really. We've got a storm system making its way in midweek. Quiet right now as we look at the radar picture. Some snow across the higher elevations, maybe a few flurries making their way into the front range here, but really the precipitation moves in as we get into Wednesday. We'll look at the NAM model. That'll take us through a dry Monday, a dry Tuesday. Clouds really begin to thicken up, especially across Alberta and Saskatchewan on Tuesday, and then precipitation starts to emerge overnight Tuesday night into Wednesday. And then as we get into Wednesday, I expect a band of some at least minor accumulating snow from maybe near Edmonton, slightly north of Edmonton, down towards Saskatoon, and then eventually into southern Manitoba, Winnipeg, maybe even the Brandon area, of seeing some snow on Wednesday as well. So this is what it looks like as forecast by the NAM. Mid-morning on Wednesday, this would be afternoon, heading into the overnight, and then even into Thursday morning, some of that snow lingering, especially across southeast Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba. So as we look at total accumulated precipitation by precipitation type, certainly we do see that little corridor of snow from north central Alberta through central Saskatchewan into central and southern Manitoba. And that's where we're talking about, maybe some accumulation here, 5 to 10 millimeters of snow, maybe some rain snow mix across southern southern Saskatchewan into far southern Manitoba. But here's some of the forecast snow totals, just raw output from the model. So this is not exactly how it's going to happen, but you get an idea here. We're talking about a relatively narrow but potentially substantial accumulating snow band here in some areas, anywhere from 10 to 20 millimeters of snow on the high end here. I think in general we're talking about 5 to 10 millimeters of snow. Again, kind of a long-ish Highway 16, Edmonton just north of there, down through Saskatoon over toward the Winnipeg area. Rain snow mix as you head south toward Regina, the Weyburn area down toward Brandon, probably more like a rain snow mix, maybe some slushy snow Wednesday into Thursday. Now, over the next 10 days, a lot of the precipitation going to be focused across central Saskatchewan down into central and southern Manitoba, with a bit of a drier window as you head off to the west. The good news is we do keep opportunities in the forecast even as we head into days 5 and 10. So over the next 5 days, really a lot of this concentrated across kind of central and eastern portions of the prairie with drier conditions. Not completely dry. You'll see chances for some precipitation here over the next 5 days, but again, as we head into days 5 to 10, still keeping the opportunities in there with an active storm system or an active storm track that we can take a look at here. 500 millibar height anomalies as we get started on Monday morning. Big trough off to the west, and that's what's going to be having little disturbances slinging around the base of it into our region. We'll animate this, taking it through the next couple of days. We'll bring it back. Here's Monday into Tuesday. This is the system now that kind of sneaks in and then dives to the southeast as we go through midweek. So this one brings that little band of snow along and north of its track. So there you can see the reason for that track, kind of from northwest to southeast, just following the track of the storm system itself as it dives to the southeast Wednesday into Thursday. We see some ridging in between that. That'll be a little dry spell, maybe even a short warm up here, but certainly some drier conditions as we head through the weekend. But the pattern continues to remain active. You see another wave swing in here as we get into maybe the early part of next week. And then this is what interests me here. Check out this little low, this little wave off to the north. My highlighter here is not working. I'm wondering if it's going to freeze here in a second. There you go. Slowly catching up. This wave that wants to dive out of the south here, out of the north, to the south into the prairie, gives me the wonderings here if maybe we don't see some actual bitterly cold air start to make its way in here as we get into mid and late November. Now here's the 500 millibar wind speeds. See this wave push in. This is it right here off the Pacific coast. As we head through Tuesday, we see it slide over the Rockies and then re-emerge right there as we get into midday Wednesday. There is that upper level low, and then watch it dive off to the south and to the east as we head from Wednesday into Thursday, stalling out over the Great Lakes. Now, we reload though. We're heading into Friday. You see the strong jet stream winds blasting in across British Columbia. That's going to bring us another chance of precipitation, another storm system that then dives to the south and to the east over the weekend. We reload. Here comes another, I don't even have to redraw the lines there. Another wave comes blasting in as we get into early next week. This one too dives off to the southeast. So we reload, and we reload, and then here comes this next piece. This one coming out of the Arctic, this one potentially bringing some bitterly cold air along with it. Of course, we're on the other side of November 18th at this point. So a lot of time to talk about that possibility. That possibility, of course, being the shot of much colder air as we get into the last half of November. So the precipitation forecast, here's the storm system off to our west as we get started this week. Makes its way over the Rockies as we head into Wednesday. Start to see that snow band set up here north of Highway 16, especially Wednesday into the day on Thursday before it dives off to the south and to the east. Snow maybe even lingering into early Friday morning across portions of Manitoba. We then take it here, the precipitation loop here glitched. We'll take it through Friday into the weekend. You know, I mentioned it'll be a bit quieter this weekend, but still maybe squeezing some flurries out of the air. We'd be talking about, not much in the way of accumulation, but maybe some snowflakes falling on Saturday, perhaps into Sunday. But the next major storm system, the next organized disturbance comes in here over the back half of the weekend into Monday. And then we see another wave coming here early to mid next week, potentially on the other side of the November 18th, 19th, and 20 timeframe. So we're looking at like a storm system every 3 to 5 days across the region. So as we look at the just getting us through the work week, through Saturday night, the probability of picking up more than 3 inches of snowfall, and you can see the Euro ensemble, the GFS ensemble, both with good agreements here, from northern Alberta through central Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. That's where we're talking about that heaviest band of snow setting up Wednesday into Thursday, maybe even lingering into Friday, especially off to the east across Manitoba. Now the temperatures over the next 10 days, we're going to see some shots of cooler air, but not much in the way of substantial cold. But I mentioned I'm curious about the potential for some much colder air coming in days 10 to 15. So November 18th through the 23rd on the back half of that kind of third system that wants to dive more out of the north. As we've been enjoying an active storm track with systems coming in across the Pacific, not tapping into any cold air off to the north. We've kept things, near average, if not on the mild side. So any shot of cold air has really just been an adjustment back to where we probably should be this time of year. But be on the alert here for maybe some substantial cold coming in as we get into the second half of the month of November. Your temperatures here in Calgary over the next 10 days, highs generally between 3 and 8 degrees as we head through the next 8 days or so, potentially cooling off as we approach the next 10 days, November 18th and beyond. Edmonton, just kind of bouncing around right about where we should be this time of year, if not a little bit on the mild side. Shot of cooler air late week across much of the region. That'll send temperatures below freezing for about 48 consecutive hours across central and southern Saskatchewan as we head through Thursday and Friday. And then Winnipeg, you see that adjustment down as well. Really, we've been on the mild side in the east here across Manitoba for much of October, the first part of November here, while the shots of cold air have mostly impacted the west. But we're going to be cooling down and likely staying there as we get to the other side of the weekend into early next week. Have a great week.